Saturday afternoon to join us here on KDOC TV for today's $1 million Anita Handicap. Number 2, Southern Image, feeling his oats down there, John. He looks good and fit.
Well, trainer Michael Mikowski's hoping that Southern Image has a good kick down the lane when the race is run, but he has a good kick in the paddock right now as we update you on the odds for this year's Big Cap.
Of course, number 5, Pleasantly Perfect scratch yesterday due to a fever. We talked to Richard Mandela this morning. The horse is fine. It was a very minor thing, but with a horse of this quality and his value, you don't want to take a chance in a race like this and potentially get him sicker than he was. So he's out. Southern Image, even money.
Well, the stress of a race actually could really knock a horse out, and Richard Mandela even talked so far as about developing pneumonia or pleurisy if under the stress of race conditions, when you're not 100%, it can just knock you out bad. So they had to sit this one out, and it's too bad, but we still got a very good race.
Been quite a day for Ron McAnally. He won the Kuro Mile Sweet Return, an offspring of Mr. Purple, whom he trained to win the Big Cap one earlier, and we're talking about John Henry.
It's McAnally Day at the Great Race Place.
Ron was talking about John Henry and how he's doing. Let's update you even further on the old-timer. 2-time winner of the Anita Handicap, one of those popular horses ever to run in Southern California. He still walks with a brisk pace, defying arthritis that by rights should accompany his gait. In human terms, he's now over 100 years old. Yet his only gray hairs are a few white strands in his tail, the same ones he had when he raced 2 decades ago. John Henry has been defying everyone, including age, his entire life. Foaled in 1975, 6 U.S. presidents ago, the gelding story is the stuff of legends, the Seabiscuit of his generation. Once sold for just $1,100, John Henry retired as the world's leading money winner, the oldest horse of the year ever at age 9, and until 2003, the only 2-time winner of the Santa Anita Handicap. He was also legendary for his disposition, which can charitably be described as ornery. But John used it to his advantage on the racetrack, turning certain defeat into victory time after time. In 2002, John Henry's body still showed the scars of having 18 inches of intestine removed, a surgery that only 7% of horses his age survive. Today, the scars have been replaced by a long, shaggy coat, one that still glistens with health. Instead of fighting for his life, the fight is back in his eye. Chris McCarron was his partner 14 times, more than any of John's 16 other jockeys. Together, they won 8 races, finishing out of the money only twice. But when McCarron paid his old friend a visit a few years ago at his home at the Kentucky Horse Park, John didn't exactly roll out the welcome mat.
I was actually there with the group from Seabiscuit, and I was bragging to them that he would recognize my voice or recognize my walk or whatever. And he had his head down in the paddock and was grazing, and I yelled his name, "Hey, Papa, hey, Papa." Like, that's what Ron used to call him all the time. And he just kept grazing. So finally I climbed over the fence and I started walking towards him. And once he recognized I was on his ground, on his turf, he chased me out of there. And he put his head down and started pinning his ears and everything, shaking his head. And so I had to run and jump over the fence.
On the racetrack, John Henry rarely did the chasing. Others chased him across the finish line. The great trainer Charlie Whittingham was second to John Henry no less than 15 times, including a bitter disqualification in the 1982 Santa Anita Handicap. Towards the end of John's racing days, Whittingham would become one of his biggest fans, often saying that he was tired of trying to beat the old horse on the track. He was just going to try and outlive him. Whittingham passed away in 1999. John Henry won that race too. John Henry, 2-time winner of the Santa Anita Handicap, 1981 and 1982. The gelding living out a very nice life in Kentucky. Only one gelding in this year's race, and it's last year's Santa Anita Derby winner, Buddy Gill.
Kind of sad that you and I are getting more gray hairs than John Henry.
A lot more. We'll take a break, come back with the post parade for the $1 million Big Cap.
Then Matlock will find a way.
What do you want me to do about it?
1 minute, he fights for justice.
What's the matter with that?
He gets the answer.
Beating the living hell out of it. Objection. Good luck with all this.
Matlock uncovers the truth.
Don't even think about it.
Freeing an innocent man.
Speculation assumes fact upon evidence.
It's a brilliant attorney from the South.
I said it kind of makes me think.
Investigating the clues in Matlock.
Say again? You get the best stuff you ever.
No matter the odds and no matter the evidence,
Sustained.
Mr. Matlock?
television star Andy Griffith makes the case even a judge has to go along with.
I'll move to another line of questioning.
Don't miss Matlock. Weekdays at 1 o'clock. The Southland's independent KDOC TV.
Big Cap Day 2004 in Arcadia, California. I'm Kurt Hoover along with John White. Proud to bring you the 67th running of the $1 million Anita Handicap as we look at number 1, St. Buddy. We talked about Buddy Gill's trouble trip. Well, St. Buddy was right up there with him in the Strube as far as trouble is concerned.
Yeah, we got a couple of buddies in this race. St. Buddy breaking from the inside. And by the way, only 2 horses have ever won the Big Cap from post position 1. Mr. Wright in 1968, Malik in 1998. That's kind of surprising. You wouldn't think 1 would be that detrimental, but it has been through the years. St. Buddy had a horrendous trip last time in the Strube, as did Buddy Gill. So neither one of them really had a fair chance that day.
Talk about the filly a little bit as we look at the favorite Southern Image. The first filly since 1996 to run the Big Cap. Fillies have not done very well. In fact, one has never won in this race. What kind of chance do you give Island Fashion, and what do you think about the idea of running in the Big Cap?
She's got a much better chance without Pleasantly Perfect in the race, so you can start right there. But it's still a very difficult assignment for her. It's a tall order, but, you know, if she pulls it off, she's going to really make history. The best finishes ever by a filly or mare in this race. Next Move, 1951, finishing second. Gamely, one of the all-time greats, finishing second to No Double in 1969. Coming into the Big Cap, fillies and mares 0 for 40 in the Big Cap.
And when you look at some of the fillies and mares who have tried, you're talking about Bayakoa, Serena Song, champions, and they weren't close. So it's a tall order to me. I'd be very surprised if she could win this race, and I respect her immensely. She's a very classy filly. She's a multiple Grade 1 winner. She won the Santa Monica and the La Brea at this meet. She won the Grade 1 Alabama, but just tough for me to see her beating the boys today.
But even in winning the Alabama, considering who she beat that day, if you took an Omadivore or you took a Southern Image or any of these boys that ran them in this race, I think they would have won that day too. So yes, she's won at 1.25 miles, but she's never won at 1.25 miles against this kind of competition. Millie Ball is out among the masses in the walk ring, a huge on-track crowd, and she has tracked down Daryl Vienna, who sends out Star Cross.
I have indeed Daryl Vienna here with Star Cross. Daryl, he looks absolutely fantastic in the post parade here. Is he sitting on a big one?
Yeah, I would say that he's come to the race as well as I could hope for. Our expectations are, I think, measured and realistic, but being here right now, our hopes are unlimited.
And it's great to see a 7-year-old coming into form like this. He's trying 1.25 miles for the second time. Is that a concern of yours at all?
I'm not really concerned about the distance. I'm very pleased with the way he's come in. I have no excuses. I hope we have a good trip, and you know, he's a horse with a lot of valor, a lot of integrity. He gets a chance, he'll make himself heard.
Well, I hope so too. Best of luck to you, Daryl Vienna, who sends out Star Cross in the $1 million Big Cap.
Thank you, Millie. Starcross has never been close to being favored in 9 starts in the U.S. The shortest price he's been 6-1 in the 49er handicap at Golden Gate last November. He won that race. Then he won the San Pasquale at 8-1, and John, in defeat, he ran well behind Pleasantly Perfect in the San Antonio.
He's who I like in this race, and one of the reasons I like him is he ran well in a Grade 1 race going 1.25 miles in Argentina, and did so under 132 pounds. He finished third that day.
A little unusual this year. This race is dominated by 4-year-olds. Most of the field are 4-year-olds old. First up is St. Buddy. Rafael Becerra and Tyler Bayes team up here. A brutal trip in the Strube. He had never had a chance to run down the lane. A good allowance win, 2 back.
Michael Mikowski was born in Cincinnati, but he grew up in Los Angeles, and he would love to win the Santa Anita Handicap, and he's sending out the current favorite, 6-5 Southern Image, winner of the Malibu and winner of the $1 million Sunshine Millions Classic.
Rafael Becerra starts 2 horses in the Big Cap. This is Royal Place, the longest shot in the field at 40-1, but you can't knock his form. In his last 4 starts, 2 wins, beaten the head and beaten the nose. 5 wins from 19 career starts.
Number 4 is Island Fashion. filly trying to make history today. No filly or mare's ever won this race. This daughter of Patientville comes into this race on quite a roll. Back-to-back Grade 1 wins, taking the La Brea and the Santa Monica Handicap.
Scratch the 5, Pleasantly Perfect. Here is Darrell Vienna's charge, Starcross. Good win in the San Pasquale when he beat nose to Trade in Almodovar, and then a solid second behind Pleasantly Perfect last time in the San Antonio. He's trained well. Jorge Nakatani up for the first time.
Emil Ram Sammy rides number 7, Tockett, trained by John Scanlon, and Tockett finished 8th in the Screw, but he didn't lose by much, 5 lengths, and he was a solid second in the Grade 2 San Fernando.
Richard Mandela has won 2 big caps, even with Pleasantly Perfect out of the race. He's got a chance for the hat trick. Almodovar comes off a very game win in the Whirlaway Handicap down at the Fairgrounds in Louisiana. He was 3rd in the San Pasquale, 2 back.
Gary Stevens just got done winning the Kilroe Mile, and Stevens has won 3 big caps. Can Gary Stevens make it 4? He might. Buddy Gill's his mount. Jeff Mullins, the trainer. Buddy Gill, winner of the 2003 Santa Anita Derby.
That's the field for the 67th running of the Grade 1 $1 million Santa Anita Handicap. The favorite is trying to do something no horse has ever done. Southern Image is trying to win his 2nd $1 million race, the same Santa Anita meeting. Let's find out more about this 4-year-old son of Halo's Image.
This year's $1 million Santa Anita Handicap is headed by 4-year-old rising star Southern Image. Interestingly, 4-year-olds have had by far the most success in the big cap. 4-year-olds have won more big caps than 5-year-olds and 6-year-olds combined.
Southern Image chases them from...
Southern Image certainly helped his image in the Grade 1 Malibu Stakes on opening day of the Santa Anita meet. He defeated a strong field to register his first stakes victory.
Southern Image, Marini, Southern Image gets up.
4 weeks later, Southern Image proved his Malibu triumph was no fluke as he trounced his rivals in the $1 million Sunshine Millions Classic.
And Southern Image and Victor Espinosa takes the Sunshine Millions Classic.
Now he bids to become the first thoroughbred to win 2 $1 million races in a single Santa Anita meet. But a big payday is not the only incentive. Trainer Michael Mikowski also would love to win the big cap because of its great tradition.
Growing up, you want to win a race like this. You know, growing up out here in Southern California, the big cap or the Santa Anita Derby, and you know, those are like your 2, races you want to put on your resume, and it'd be a dream come true.
Mikowski is very pleased with the way Southern Image is coming up to the race.
He's training awesome. He just worked 5/8, 58-1, galloped out 11-3, so everything looks go right now. He's as talented as anybody, but, experience is one thing that could get him beat.
Southern Image heads the field for this year's prestigious Santa Anita Handicap, which was won in 1940 by the legendary Seabiscuit. Who knows? Maybe the 2004 Big Cap winner will someday be the subject of a book and a movie.
Southern Image looking for his 2nd Grade 1 win and his 2nd $1 million win at the Santa Anita meet. That is not easy to do in either case. John, let's talk about the pace of the race, a term you like to use, and it fits this race. The pace is a bit murky. How does it shape up? Who's going to go to the front?
It's possible to even be Southern Image. I talked to Michael Mikowski earlier today, and he said he would like to be sitting 2nd or 3rd, but he said the lead would be okay. Interestingly, in this race, through the years, in the last 33 winners were either 1st or 2nd with an 1/8 of a mile to go in this race. Last year, Milwaukee Brew and Congaree were 1-2 with an 1/8 of a mile to go. So you need that tactical speed in addition to having the stamina to get the 1.25 miles as we look at Island
John,
Fashion.
You train her right, Island Fashion. What do you do with her out of the, because she does have tactical speed and she can pass horses? What do you think?
I think they're going to see. I think you're going to see all these riders come out of the gate and just kind of watch each other, unless someone like Tockett, a long shot, is going to be aggressive in this race. But I think you're going to see a lot of jockeyship here in terms of them just kind of clocking each other in that initial maybe 1/4 mile.
Yeah. The only Tockett's going to be sent. He's a big price at 21-1. He's run well up close to the lead before. I just have a feeling they might try and send him to the front today. After that, it gets a little tough to figure. St. Buddy is not really a quick horse, but he's another one who can lay up close if he has to. They figure to be bunched. The other thing about the race, John, is there a true closer? Is there someone who's going to lag 10, 12 lengths back?
Possibly Omadavor. He's done that on occasion. He's kind of a quirky horse. You never know exactly what he's going to do. Sometimes he lays close. Sometimes he drops far back. I think today he might not be too far back, because when you mentioned the pace, the one thing I would say about this big cap, I can't envision a real fast pace. It should be a moderate pace, and that would be to the detriment of anyone dropping way out of it today.
Emil Ram Sammy rides Talcott. This is his first mount ever in the Anita Handicap, so Emil Ram Sammy making his big cap debut aboard Talcott. Corey Nakatani's won the big cap. He won on a general challenge in the year 2000. He rides Starcross, and 6-1 on a horse like this, a dangerous horse, and he's got real good tactical style.
Well, I think Southern Image is the one to beat, and I can't blame anybody for picking him or liking him, but I'm going to take a price here. I like Starcross, and one of the reasons, he has that tactical speed. I think he's got the stamina based on what he showed in Argentina. I look for Starcross to perhaps be first or second with 1/8 of a mile to go, and that would put him in a position to win this race.
Omadavor, a son of AP Indy, currently at 5-1. He's trying to give Richard Mandella his third Santa Anita Handicap. Well, we've done our best to diagnose the way the race is going to shape up. Let's turn to Jeff Siegel, and he'll get us out the blackboard.
But it's all Island Fashion in scintillating style this afternoon.
To say that Island Fashion will be trying to buck a trend in today's big cap would be something of an understatement. There have been 40 fillies and mares who have attempted to beat the boys in the big cap's 66-year history. None have won. But trainer Marcelo Polanco is hopeful that Island Fashion's race...
Parents on Disney Channel are just like yours. Go, Mama! Go, Mama! Go, Mama! They have the same rules.
Baby girl, no dating until after you're married.
They say the same things.
Don't worry. I won't embarrass you, because remember, I'm a cool mom.
And they're totally unpredictable.
To win the Whirlaway Handicap at Fairgrounds, his 5th career victory from just 11 lifetime starts. Omadavor gives every indication that he will thoroughly enjoy the big cap's 10-furlong trip and provides Mandella with a legitimate chance even with the trainer's big gun remaining on the sidelines. But Southern Image is strictly the one to beat in today's big cap, especially if he continues his rapidly improving form that has seen this lightly raced 4-year-old colt already win 2 major stakes this meeting. The Grade 1 Malibu on opening day at 7 furlongs, and then the Sunshine Millions Classic at 1 mile and 1/8 in what clearly was his most impressive performance to date. The Mike Mikowski-trained colt has been beaten just once in 5 career outings. Today we'll find out if he's ready to join the nation's elite in the older handicap ranks.
A race that was first run in 1935 here at Santa Anita. It has its 67th running. And John, as far as the wagering goes, no real surprise to me. It's being bet pretty way it looks on paper.
No real surprises here with Southern Image, the solid favorite at even money, and the second choice, trained by Richard Mandella at 9-5, Omadavor.
The filly Island Fashion at 7-1. A field of 8 will go 1 mile and 1/4 on a fast main track. It's the 67th running of the Grade 1, $1 million Santa Anita Handicap for the call upstairs to Trevor Denman.
Royal Place going in. Omadavor in the white sleeves. They're loading very smoothly. Island Fashion, the filly, will be second last. Buddy Gill to come to the outside gate, and they'll all be set. Island Fashion is in. Here comes Buddy Gill up. Goes in. Gates closed. They're all set. Feel for the Santa Anita Handicap, sent on their way to a perfect start. Buddy Gill, Talcott in the white blinkers out fast. Island Fashion's away well. Southern Image one from the rail. Royal Place in the black colors there as well. On the inside, St. Buddy. They're lining up 5, 6 of them. Only 2 lengths covers them all. Starcross has been taken towards the rear today, is now going to have to go wide as Omadavor drops in last. 6 lengths would cover the entire field. They run to the 7/8 pole. The long shot Talcott on the outside, and Royal Place. 2 long shots set the pace. It's a decent one too. Southern Image is tucked in 3rd at the rail, and Buddy Gill on the outside is 4th. The filly Island Fashion in the white blinkers 5th, only 2 lengths off the leaders. St. Buddy is tucked in 6th at the rail. Almodovar second last and 5 off them, and Starcross going to bring up the rear. 7 lengths covers the entire field as they move on to the backstretch. Tocket on the outside, and Royal Place continue to lead them. Buddy Gill is now breathing down their necks in third, and Southern Image down at the rail. Is Southern Image going to kick early? He has room, and Southern Image not been asked, but moving up on the inside. Island Fashion is a close-up fifth, 2.5 off them. St. Buddy is the grey, travelling nicely, 4 off the leaders. Almodovar and Starcross have 6 to make up. Into the turn they go, and Southern Image, being patiently ridden, has the lead without even wanting it. And Southern Image now kicks away for home. Buddy Gill on the outside. Royal Place between them. Tocket is done. Now St. Buddy's coming with a run on the outside. Island Fashion, Almodovar, Starcross did not fire today. Top of the lane in the big cap, and it's Southern Image the leader. St. Buddy on the outside. The Philly Island Fashion in with a shot too. Homeward bound in the big one. Southern Image, Island Fashion looking to rewrite the history books on the outside. St. Buddy, any one of the three. Southern Image holding on. Island Fashion weary but chasing gamely. Southern Image, Island Fashion, Southern Image, and Victor Espinosa win the big cap to Island Fashion, St. Buddy and Almodovar. Then came Tocket, Buddy Gill, Royal Place, and Starcross was last.
Well, John, it wasn't easy. That was a hard-fought victory for favorite Southern Image, and Victor Espinosa had a lot of tactical decisions to make down the backstretch as to when to go up along the inside and go ahead and try and get to the front.
What a super ride by Espinosa. He made all the right decisions in what was really a tricky race. We talked about it, and you used a good phrase while we were watching the race, a real cat-and-mouse game by those jockeys early. Congratulations, there is Southern Image, 2004 Big Cap winner.
This is where I hit the Pick 6 at Santa Anita. Here's where I watched my long shot go wire to wire at Gulfstream. And this is where I hit the trifecta at Golden Gate. Open an Express Bet account and wager by phone or online. Anytime, from anywhere.
Well, howdy, I'm Cal Verticus. Hey, if you're buying a car, see me first, and I'll give you this DVD player. Now, you don't have to buy from me. All I want you to see me first, give me first chance at the deal. It plays DVDs, it plays CDs, it's got the remote. You'll enjoy it. How do you gonna beat this? A 2002 Toyota Corolla, $79.50. A 2003 Nissan Sentra, $99.50. A 2002 Toyota Tacoma pickup, $79.50. And a 2003 Ford Windstar, $11.4. Worthington Ford in Long Beach. Come down the 405 to Bellflower Boulevard.
Big Cap Day, and the winner, number 2, Southern Image, under an expert ride. I can't think of any other term to describe it, from Victor Espinosa.
Well, outstanding ride would be another good way, and let's also give a lot of credit to Michael Mikowski. And here he thought he was going to have to go against Pleasantly Perfect. No Pleasantly Perfect, but you can't take anything away from this performance. Absolutely brilliant. There with the green silks, that is Victor Espinosa aboard Southern Image. And Espinosa really goes to work, because breathing down his neck is Island Fashion, who runs a super race in defeat here. Island Fashion only gives it her all, and she joins Next Move as Gamely to finish second in this race. She's only the third filly to do that well in this race.
Island Fashion ran lights out, John. She swung wide, turning for home at the 8th pole. I thought she might get Southern Image. Victor Espinosa had other ideas, though. He went to the left-hand stick, and Southern Image is a horse that really responds to the vigorous ride and the urging of Victor Espinosa. I saw it in the Malibu, saw it in the Sunshine Millions, in the same situation today. He really needs aggressive handling, and he got it from a fine rider in Victor Espinosa.
You know, that's a pretty good year in just one meet, to win a Grade 1 Malibu, to win the $1 million Sunshine Millions Classic, and the $1 million Santa Anita Handicap. For Victor Espinosa, this was his third try at the Big Cap. He had finished 6th aboard Jimmy Z in 2001. 9th aboard Sane in 2002, but he gets the victory today. There is a very happy Victor Espinosa.
Final time up on the board, 2:01 and 3, or 2:01 and 64/100. Southern Image the winner, 2nd Island Fashion, 3rd number 1 at St. Buddy. It is official, 2-4-1. The fractions, 23 to the quarter, 46 and 1 to the half, 6 furlongs and 110 and 1. Mile and 35 and 1, a mile and a quarter in the Big Cap, 2:01 and 3. Looks like a pretty happy group down in the winner's circle.
I would say an ultra-happy group. Southern Image, the winner of this race, a Florida-bred son of Halo's Image out of a Dixieland band mare. And he's had his physical issues that Michael Mikowski has had to deal with. Michael Mikowski was born in Cincinnati, and in 1969, at the age of 4, his family moved to Southern California. And this is a very meaningful win for Michael Mikowski. As Southern Image wins it, there are the prices. The even money favorite wins this year's Big Cap.
John, I'm pretty good friends with the assistant, one of Mike's assistants, Bobby Troger, and I know how much work this horse has been. He has not been an easy horse to deal with. He's had his issues along the way. They've done an outstanding job with him all along, and they are rewarded with a win in the 67th Big Cap. $4 to win mutual, $1 exact to 2, 4, $12. The $1 trifecta, 2, 4, 1, $94.90. How do you think Mike Mikowski feels right about now?
Undescribable. I'm sure he just almost can't even believe it. I'm sure he feels this is like a dream come true, because he talked about what this would mean, and it's just hard for him to even put into words, I'm sure.
In the last 6 months, Mike has had his second child born, won 2 Grade 1 races, and $2 million races. That's been his last 6 months. That's not a bad run for Mike Mikowski. Southern Image, owned by the Blahoot Stables, Cagle Brothers, Tepper et al., and there's a whole bunch of et als down there in the winner's circle. We're going to try and trap Mike Mikowski down in the winner's circle before we get away from him. He's got to be down there in that mob scene somewhere.
The other thing that's good about this is these owners paid a lot of money for Southern Image, $300,000, and they were rewarded for that big investment.
Mike Mikowski is making his way over to Millie Ball. He's got one of his babies in his hands and a lot of money in his pocket. Millie, it's all yours.
Mike, I just have to ask you, I know we don't have a lot of time. How does it feel to win the Big Cap?
I'm still floating. I don't know yet. I don't know if it's a dream still, so.
Did this race really put the clinch on it that this horse was everything that you thought he would be?
He got tested every bit of the way and never had a break, so.
Congratulations to you and to all of you, and to winning jockey Victor Espinoza aboard Southern Image today in the Santa Anita Handicap.
Thank you, Millie. Good hustle down there in the winner's circle. And Mike Mikowski made a very good point there, John, which I completely agree with. This horse never had a breather the entire race.
A well-deserved win, a hard-earned win. A lot of people skeptical about Southern Image. Could he win at the 1.25 miles? Well, he sure proved that today. A lot of people skeptical about Island Fashion in this race.
Including you and me.
Exactly, and really a kind of a winner in defeat in this year's Big Cap, the filly Island Fashion, a super try. But look at that winner's circle. That's bigger than the attendance at a lot of racetracks in this country.
That is one happy group. Should be quite a party tonight, courtesy of that guy. Southern Image, 4-year-old son of Halo's Image, bred in Florida out of the mare Pleasant Drive. Southern Image is now in the record books as a Santa Anita Handicap winner.
And as I mentioned, they paid $300,000 to buy Southern Image as a 2-year-old, and here he is winning back-to-back $1 million races at the same meet.
Big win for Southern Image. His career earnings go up over $1 million. He is racing's newest millionaire, the winner of the Big Cap. Going to be very tough to top today's action tomorrow, Jumper. We're going to try because we've got one of my favorites and a very good sprinter in tomorrow's San Carlos.
Got the Georgia Bred Blues, the standard in the San Carlos. Should be a lot of fun. Hope you can join us.
Join us tomorrow at 4 o'clock. We'll be on 4 to 5. Bring you the San Carlos Blues. The standard has a big field for tomorrow's San Carlos. It's been a heck of a day of racing, John. Good to see the crowd on track and a celebration in the winner's circle for Southern Image.
Just a great day of racing.
Thanks to all of you for watching us this afternoon. We will be with you every Saturday and Sunday. The rest of the meet here at Santa Anita, kicking off at 4 o'clock. So we'll have the stake every Saturday and Sunday here at Santa Anita Park. Thanks to all our crew. Thanks for Millie Ball for hustling the interview.